Hi everybody. Today we're gonna make a vegan meal for at least 25 people. And I also wanna talk about what to do when you feel like that weird vegan church lady. Okay, so I'm gonna make vegan enchiladas with black beans and sweet potatoes and onions and peppers and tortillas and green salsa. So every Wednesday night for the past almost 10 years, I make dinner for our church. And so tonight, I thought while I'm cooking, we could chat. Because sometimes I do feel like that weird vegan church lady. Do you know what I mean? Well, okay, let's start because it's gonna be church time and I'm not gonna have dinner ready. So let's chat and make, right? This little thing, I don't know if you have one of these, but if you eat tortillas, which I do not, but my family does, you stick them in here and yeah, you microwave them. I know, but it's only like for 30 seconds or something. And then they're nice and soft and pliable. So it makes it a lot easier. So anyways, I'm just gonna take a baking sheet with parchment paper and fill it with sweet potatoes and then black beans and put some of this onion pepper mix and green salsa, and that's it. So I want to talk about being the weird vegan for a minute in the church circles. You know, there's only about 1 to 4% of people that claim to be vegan in the US, and of that 1 to 4%, there's 0.34% of them, or 34% of the 1%, identify as Christian. So if you think about, is somebody good at math? I think that's 0.34% of Christians. 0.34% of Christians are vegan. And then you throw in there being raw vegan, and I have no idea how small that number is. But sometimes you can feel a little bit is an understatement, of being an outsider. And even though I cook this way tonight for my church family, nobody else in my church eats the way I do. At first, I tried to hide it, and I wouldn't tell anybody. I would just kind of like coyly avoid the meat and just move it around on my plate and then just throw it away. Because I hate attention, and I almost forgot the salsa. I hate attention, and I didn't want to be the weird person. But I just want to tell you, the Bible is full of weird people. The Bible is full of people that have to go their own way, and that way is very lonely sometimes, but it's the way that leads to a closer walk with Jesus. Not that the vegan diet does that necessarily, but I'm just saying the lonely path, the one where nobody else is traveling with you and you feel like kind of an outcast. And I have to say, like I mentioned before, it's uncomfortable to be the only Christian that has a food issue, right? Well, that's what they say, it's a food issue. One thing that helped me was I had a lot of food allergies, and I'll tell you, food allergies can be a huge blessing because you are not tempted to eat food when you're going to throw up if you eat it, or you're going to have severe pain. And that's kind of how it started for me. So I would just started avoiding certain foods that were making me sick. But then I realized how much better I felt eating plant-based, and I was allergic to dairy and gluten, so it was much easier for me to make the transition than other people. But just pretend you have a food allergy, and it might make it easier for you if you're struggling. But anyways, that's how it started for me, and it was much easier that way. And then the more you live on this lifestyle, the more you want to stay on it, and the more you want to purify your detoxification pathways, the healthier you want to eat. So it just got easier and easier for me. And then when I was sick with COVID, long COVID, for the third time, I thought, this is ridiculous. I am not going to eat any cooked food for 40 days. And in about 2 weeks, the long COVID was gone, and I have not had it since. And then right after that, I did a 40-day juice fast. And I think that was really good to prepare my body for the juice fast first by the 40 days of raw foods. And so once you do that, your insides are so clean, and you know what it's like to have like a palate that likes real food in its whole form, that you don't need all the additives and the sugar and stuff that doesn't taste good anymore. So it's so much easier. So if you're thinking of going plant-based or raw, I would just consider doing a challenge like that. It doesn't have to be a juice fast, although I don't know. A lot of people are for it and a lot of people are against it, fasting and things like that. But it was an amazing experience for me. It was very difficult, but it was really helpful because I was really addicted to like processed foods, chips especially, and anything salty, processed snack foods. I never thought I would be able to not eat them. We're getting way off track from the church lady situation, but just a little bit more of my background if you're curious. After I did the juice fast, I never, ever, ever wanted chips again. Not once. My family begged me to eat them, I think just for some normalcy. And I tried them, but I didn't like it at all. And so I'm not tempted. I'm sometimes tempted to eat convenience foods because it's, more work to create your meals instead of like grab it out of a bag. But I never want that stuff anymore. So that was really exciting for me. And I never wanted to re-addict my body to those things. So back to the church situation. What do you do if you're the only Christian? What do you do if you have church events? Every single Wednesday night we eat together. We eat dinner together. Sometimes I don't cook. Someone else will offer to cook for me, and it's so sweet. And they'll always make big meat meals. I think the church absolutely loves it when they do that. I always bring my own. Now, there's a few things I've tried. I have tried not eating before I come. Of course, you can always do that. And at first, I was really embarrassed to eat my own food because I thought they would feel like I was slighting them because I didn't want to eat what they brought. But over time, they just got used to it, and I got used to it. I got a little bit braver. And I feel like if I bring my own food, it's less awkward than sitting there looking like, awkward or pretending I'm super engrossed in a passage of scripture that I'm super spiritual and reading ahead for church tonight. Something like that, it's just easier to just join the crowd, be friendly and cheerful, and just own it. Own what you're doing. I think that is my takeaway lesson for vegans in a non-vegan world is don't be belligerent about it, please. Just own your decision with love and put a smile on your face and appreciate everybody else and talk about something else besides food. If people ask you questions, just oh yeah, I just love eating this way. It makes me feel energetic and I don't have as much pain or allergies or whatever you want to say, whatever your reason is. And then switch the topic. So how are you doing today? What's going on in your life? Or, just downplay it, I guess, if you're uncomfortable. There's a few things that really bug people about vegans. One of them is when they're pushy, and the other one is when they're preachy. So Christians, we are not here to preach the vegan gospel. We're here to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, right, unto salvation for everyone who accepts Jesus, for everyone who will believe. And that is our mission, right? So yes, it is absolutely to live healthy and energetic and vibrant, and so that we can attract people to the gospel, but we can't lose sight of loving one another, and accepting one another. You know, people are on a different place in the journey than we are, and that's completely okay. And yes, you will have to sit there and listen to all of these health concerns and complaints. People will tell you how, I know you've experienced this. People will tell you how sick they are, or how they have to go to the doctor for this or that, or what their heart condition is, or how they wish they could lose weight. And then you could say, hey, you know what? I found something that will help me so much. And they'll go, back to me. I don't know why, but it happens to me a lot. And I think it's okay. At first I was disappointed, but now I just realize it's okay. You know, they will, they see what I'm doing. They see how I'm living. And I've been at this for many, many, many years. So they're used to me now. And they know when they're ready, they can ask me questions, and I will not judge them, but I will share with them what I learned that helped me. So anyways, what is your guys' experience with, these are heavy, with being the only vegan in church? Do you have that experience as well? I think another thing is just, mostly just making it not a big deal. Bringing what you want to bring. Sometimes I bring a smoothie that's ugly. I don't know if you've seen my smoothies, but they're not like glamour smoothies. They're usually some form of brownish green, because I put berries and greens together. And as any artist knows, you don't put red and green together. It makes like brown. So if you want to do green smoothie and have it be attractive, only do like mango. Don't do berries, because it will make it look a bad color, and people will go, ew, what are you drinking? That's another thing. I would like it if all my meals looked very beautiful and appetizing so that other people would be interested, but I really don't think it matters that much, because if they're only going to eat what's pretty and taste good, then, like, when I mean taste good, I mean like sugary or salty, they're not ready. So you do what you want to do, what makes you feel like you are in the best shape to serve the Lord Jesus Christ. And yes, it is so important what we eat. I need to go get some more tortillas. I will be right back. So I wanted to share a Bible verse with you that is similar to this topic that we're talking about. And it's in Matthew chapter 7. And it says, "A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Therefore, by their fruits, they will know them." And I just think, what kind of fruit are we bearing? We can have all of our principles and all of our perfect diet and all those things, but ultimately the fruit that we are to be portraying as Christians is love. And so let's just go and express love. And one of the ways is just by not judging other people, right? Because the Bible is very clear in that we are not to judge people with what they eat, or they are not to judge us with what we eat, right? It's hard. I know it's hard when we are so compassionate and we don't like animal cruelty, and we want people to be healthy, and we watch them, what they buy at the supermarket, and we watch what they put on their plates, and it is really hard not to judge. But Jesus says, he doesn't say, well, don't judge unless people are making bad choices, or unless you don't agree with their choices. He just says, don't judge them, period. Because they answer to God and not to us. because they are not our servants. And they're gonna answer for their own decisions, as are we. But when we go to church, so when I go to church tonight and I bring these meals, people are going to be very, very gracious and appreciative. Which reminds me, when we moved here, we started a church on the reservation here in Oregon, and I would make plant-based meals. And this one tribal member in particular, he would tell me, Lindsay, I never know what I'm eating, but I always like it. And so that was pretty funny. We can always bring delicious food, either with us or to share, or just if everybody's eating something else, just bring your own and enjoy it. But just, I know it's uncomfortable, but after a little while, it won't be so awkward. And, you know, people will just accept you for what you are and what you do and all those kind of things, as long as we can do it with kindness, you know, and not make it a huge big deal. So anyways, thank you for spending time with me today. I really appreciate it. It's nice to have you out there. I know it gets a little lonely, but that's okay. Also, I do want to be honest. I said I'm not going to be hiding things. I'm just going to be real. I know it's going to make some people are going to judge me too for the amount of vegan I am. I'll tell you what I mean. I'm not eating this stuff because I'm eating raw foods, which I will, of course, make a salad. And I'm making a salad in addition to this. It's going to go in this big Tupperware right here. But I want to be honest and say, one of these platters, I'm going to put cheese on. Why would I do that when I know it's going to be not healthy for the people? Well, it's because they want it and they love it. And I'm going to bring one without cheese and one with cheese. And guess which one I'm going to come home with leftovers from. Hint, it's not going to be the cheese one. And that's because cheese is very addictive and everybody loves cheese. I don't know why. I hate cheese. I have never liked cheese. Plus, it's terrible on my stomach, but most people really love it. So why would I do that? Well, it's because, you know, you need to meet people where they're at and, again, not force health on people. They have the option. They don't have to eat it, but they want it. And I know not everybody's going to agree with me, but it is a way that I show love for them, is by accepting them and doing what they would prefer, not what I would prefer. I don't love it. I don't love doing that. Or when we have meat meals, but it's not the end of the world, because what's really important is our faith and our eternal life and our salvation. So I'll show you at the end what this looks like, and I wonder if you might like to try this. Look at how delicious this looks. I don't know if you can see very well. It looks so good. I am allergic to gluten, like puking allergic, so this is not tempting in any way. Also, I don't really have any temptations anymore for food. I know that sounds crazy, but I really don't. And I think that's just by nourishing our bodies, our cells get what they want, and so you're not always craving things. I might talk about that next time, because that was a huge deal for me to learn what is behind food cravings. But it's okay. For now, I think I'll call it a day and let you get on with your day. And thank you again for spending time with me, and I will show you how this turns out.